Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. So, I was I just got home from work and from picking up Nate from school. And God, let me just tell you guys this. I'm exhausted. Hey Classy, I'm exhausted. I worked my ass off today. I worked my booty off today. Hold on, let me do this. And la da da da. Let me see how that looks. Okay, that's a little bit better. Yay, you made it to alive. Hey, hey Melysa. Hey Daniel. Danielle. Hey everybody. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. Hey Molly, I'm so glad you made it. Hey Merc. So I wasn't going to come on and do a video today, but I was like, okay, so let me just get something straight real fast. This is like my hoodies and stuff up against my couch. That's my son's little dog with a mask on it. I can't be bothered. We don't ever sit in the living room. Like, we literally don't watch TV down here. So that's just stuff that I have just taking up space. I'll probably get it all taken care of and get it, um, okay, so Susan, when I went to get these glasses, I have a really, really round face, as you guys can see, especially since I've gained weight. And so I tried on every frame to make sure that they were going to be big enough. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to have little frames and make my face look even bigger. So I wanted to have bigger frames to make my face look smaller. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, we just say it how it is around here. Yep, I got a chunky face, so I needed to make sure I got some chunky girl glasses. So, okay, I put up a video yesterday, and it was all about my experience in having, okay, it's all about me being in an abusive relationship. I was in a really, really bad relationship for about 6 years, and it was a bad, bad physically abusive relationship. And I told you guys, like, the stuff that happened in that video. I shared about, him beating me. Thank you, Merc. I shared about him beating me. I shared about him, throwing stuff at me, busting my head open, blacking my eye, bouncing my head off the concrete. And so I wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk to you guys about some things that I've been thinking about and some videos that I want to make, but I don't know if you guys want to see those kind of videos. So that's what we're going to talk about. I want to get you guys' opinion on some things. All right. And then I want to share a couple of channels with you guys that I just found that are recovery channels, mental health channels, and then some new prison channels that I've been really, really liking. For those of you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Nicole and I'm a recovering drug addict. I was addicted to methamphetamine, opiates, Xanax, alcohol, cocaine. I was a poly substance abuser. I was a poly addict. So I was addicted to multiple substances at the same time. Sometimes I would be addicted to meth and then I would drop opiates for like a month or two, but I was always on something. And so I've been sober since July 13th of 2015. And I do utilize a medically assisted treatment program, which I am on 4 milligrams of Suboxone. And I have tapered from 12 milligrams down to 4 milligrams. And I just recently dropped down 2 more milligrams. I actually found you from Derek's channel. Oh, that's awesome, Molly. I'm so glad you found me. Like, seriously, I'm so glad that you're here on this live stream. So let's get pumped up. Let's talk, because y'all know how I am. I like to get into it. So I've been sober on medically assisted treatment for 4 years. And that, to me, you guys, that's sober. All right. I've worked my ass off to change my people, places, and things. Okay. I've worked my ass off in therapy, learning how to heal and learn new behaviors, learn new ways to speak to myself internally. Because one of the things that I really struggled with when I was first getting sober was this negative self-talk. Just constantly talking down to myself, oh, you're never going to amount to nothing because you were a drug addict, So like like a half a strip or a half of a strip. Yes, half a strip a day. That's what I'm on. But I'm on the tablets, Danielle. And the way I do the tablets is, I guess y'all want me to go get it from upstairs. So how many of you guys are on maintenance medication? Is there anything that you guys want me to talk about right now that will help you? If you're on maintenance, let me know, because I'm on maintenance and I have a lot of experience with it. I'm on methadone, tapering myself. It's slow, but to be honest, it saved my life. I know most people's thoughts about it, and I totally get it, but it saved my life, and that's what matters. Hey, girl. Hey, Debbie. It doesn't matter what. Girl, listen to me, okay, Molly? Shout out to Debbie, you guys. If y'all haven't already, she has a channel too here on YouTube, and she's going to be making content sharing her story about her life. So y'all go over there and subscribe to her channel. She'll be putting out videos soon about her experience and the things that she's gone through. She's gone through some pretty crazy things, just like I have. So the more of us women that share our stories, the more that we're helping each other. There's a lot of people out there, you guys, that they don't feel like they can tell anybody. They are afraid to say, I was addicted, but today I'm recovered. They're afraid to say, I stood up for myself and I left that man, right? I left that man and I'm not letting him hurt me anymore. This is like the things that we have to support each other on, And it helps a lot, because here's the thing, you guys. And any of you ladies that have channels, if you show me that you're serious about your channel and that you're going to be, uploading and staying consistent, I will have you on my channel. You can come on my channel and you can share your experience. Hey, Krista. All right. So I'm glad you're here, girl. So, okay. Let me get back on track. You guys know how I am. I read y'all's comments and then I get... So methadone, Molly, don't worry about what anybody else says about methadone, because listen to me, girl. Listen to me, Molly. This is for Molly, y'all. Around here at Real Talk Recovery, we don't give a damn what you got to do to get sober, girl. Hey, woke, we don't care what you have to do to get sober, okay? Whether it's methadone, Suboxone, shit, if you get on that kratom stuff, we don't care. We just want you to get your life together. We want you to be healthy, happy, and free. We want you to be able to be a productive member of society. We want you to be able to go to a job. We want you to be able to be a mom or a dad to your parents. To your kids. We want you to be able to be a parent to your kids. So it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks about whatever medication you're on. All that matters inside is what's going on with you. Do you not like being on the medication? If that's something that you don't like and you are experiencing negative side effects and you want to start tapering, then that's what you do, girl. You start tapering. For a long time, I went back and forth, you guys, and I let a lot of people's opinions of Suboxone dictate my treatment, okay? Hey, Straight Talking, I let it to change my mind and made me think, okay, I need to get off this medication. But every time I did that, I ended up screwing myself over and I didn't relapse, but I would worry about what other people thought, and then I would try to rush to get off of my mental health medications and rush to get off Suboxone. And this is the first real time that I've really tapered and followed my doctor's orders. Right. And that's the thing, you guys. We have that exactly. So we have, that's the thing, just like Straight Talking said, but all these people, you guys, people that have opinions of our recovery, these people are just recovering addicts like we are. And that's first of all, let me say this. You guys know I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a doctor. I am literally just a girl who is sharing my experience. And my experience has been that they'll pressure you to do things because it's not their life. They don't have to live in your shoes. So they'll pressure you, say, you need to get off that. That's not sober. That's not going to help you any. You're still on an opiate. I've heard it all. Shoot, the other day somebody left me a comment and told me, why are you trying to help anybody? Aren't you the one who needs support because you're on Suboxone? And I'm like, So because I'm on Suboxone, that makes me not able to be of service to anybody. I didn't know that Suboxone totally made my recovery null and void, but that's how a lot of people want to see it, you know, and that's not true. We have a whole crew of people over here who are on maintenance, who are doing well, who are living their best lives, who relate to what I'm talking about on my channel, you know? Let me see. I seen your video about getting extra subs in your script. It's amazing that you brought them back. Oh, girl, that was crazy, huh? Never let anyone dictate how long you remain on Suboxone. Oh my God, sorry, guys. Meds between. I have no problem with it being taken the right way. Oh, that's right. Hey, Great Dane. Yeah. And I just want you guys to like remember, like, you know, I have to tell these things to myself. I have to go, who am I in a race with? Who am I competing against? Who, like, I'm not in a race or a competition for recovery with anyone. The only person that I am in competition with is me. The only person I'm trying to do better than is the way I did yesterday. I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday today, and so on and so forth. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? And so please, if you don't get anything from my channel at all, if you don't learn anything, please learn this, that not listen to what other people say about what you're doing in your recovery, okay? And what I mean by other people is people on YouTube, people with opinions. Now, if you have a sponsor or a therapist or a doctor, somebody who is like directly related to your sober support network, and they are concerned about what's going on with you and your medication, it's okay to sit down and have a conversation with them, right? Let's say, I'll give you guys an example. Back when I first got put on Suboxone, I really struggled with overtaking my medication. I tell you guys this all the time. I used to fucking take them motherfuckers, like, I'd be at work and I'd have a bad day. Somebody pissed me off at work, and so I'd get a piece. And then I'd go on 3-4 hours and take another piece. And I was taking it like it was going to make me feel differently. Like when I took opiates, you know, when you take more opiates, you get higher, right? Or at least that was my experience. When I would do more Roxys, I would get more of a feeling. With Suboxone, it doesn't do that. And so my therapist, my doctor, and my husband and my sponsor, we all sat down and we had to have a talk because I was struggling and I was running out of my medication early. And so when you're running out of your medication early like that and you're not staying stabilized, right? So you're running out early and then you're out of it for 2 or 3 days, right? So I want you guys, you don't have to say whether this is something that you're going through, but I want you to say it in your mind. If you're someone who's running out of your medication a day early, 2 days early, 3 days early, a week early, you've got to reevaluate the way you're taking your medication to make some changes. Hey, Reaper Man, something's not working out. Something needs to change. Somebody's using that medication to cope with other things. You know what I'm saying? So if that's something that you're going through, just know that I've done the same thing. There's nothing to be ashamed of, but you got to get it in control. So I really struggled with that at the beginning. And so I had to get honest, and first of all, they caught me. They would call me in for random counts. That's something they do at my clinic. They would call me in for a random count, and they would say, we need to count your medication. And I'd be like, holy shit, what am I going to do now? I'd be out of them. You know what I'm saying? And I would have to say, well, I'm out. What were you going to do for the next 3 days? You know, and I'm just like, I don't know, you know, and then I would get in trouble. And what I mean by getting in trouble was I would get bumped down a phase. Because, see, at the clinic I go to, they bump us up in phases as we go. Like, the better you do, as in staying sober, no drug tests, no positive drug screens, all negatives, no missed classes or counseling sessions, you get to go up in phase. And as you go up in phase, it gets cheaper for you. It really is. It's hard because, and then you start beating yourself down because you're like, hey, you guys, if you don't mind, will you guys go and give me a thumbs up for this video? I see Great Dane in the comment section, so thank you, Great Dane. You're the bomb. If y'all don't mind, just exit the video for 1 second. Give it a thumbs up. Is it low? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. How is it now? Thank you. Maybe it's because maybe I had it on the speaker. Is it low now, Daniel? Daniel? Sorry. Or who said that? Anyway, I'm not going to touch it because I feel like I'll mess it up. Maybe I had it on the speaker side. So it's a lot of people struggle with it, you guys. Please don't be embarrassed, okay? Because it's normal. Like when you, okay, for an addict who goes through and they get on and they are abstinent, right? And they just, get off of all substances and they're not taking any medication like we are. It's not even that the medication, thank you, woke. It's not that we're taking the medication and we're thinking, oh, this is going to get me high. It's the way our brain is wired from our addiction is your brain, did you know this? When you're in active addiction, your brain gets stuck on a loop, okay? And the loop, it's called the vicious cycle. It's like it goes around and around in a circle, all right? So when you take something, it's almost like that whole like smoking a cigarette thing, oral fixation kind of thing. That's what it's like for us. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like for us. So when we're taking that, it's almost like a hand to mouth fixation thing. And it's like, oh, I took my medication. Did you know that our doctors, they could probably give us like placebo? We'd have to have a little bit of Suboxone in there, but they could give us placebo for the other half of the month and we would probably be fine, except for let's say this. Let's say you took a Suboxone one day and then you took a sugar pill the next day. Suboxone the next day, sugar pill. Suboxone, sugar pill. Suboxone, sugar pill. You wouldn't know the difference. I promise you guys, because it's it's psychological in our minds. Today I went to work. All right. I went to work. Now don't get me wrong. If you skip 4 doses of Suboxone, you're going to be sick as fuck on the 5th day. Okay. It usually takes me to about 4 days to start not feeling good. Okay, I see a question. Other than Friday night mirror meetings, does she have a set schedule for regular meetings? Oh, okay. Hey, Great Dane. So here's the deal. On Monday nights from now on, you guys, we are going to be doing step studies. Okay? And what I'm doing is I'm taking one step every Monday. So this past Monday, we talked about step 1. We talked about Monday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and Friday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But on Mondays, it has nothing to do, like I'm not going to be talking about medically assisted treatment. I'm just going to be talking about recovery in general. Like I'm not going to so much focus on, the Mara aspect of it. We're just going to talk about the steps, because I believe that if you're on Suboxone or any maintenance medication, that besides being on that medication, you need to be doing something else to stay sober. And for me, what helped me so much, you guys, and I'll say this time and time again, was getting into those meetings, okay? Thank you, Merck. Was getting into those meetings and getting in the middle and got myself a sponsor, started hanging out with all the people there. And through the 12 steps, I learned, and from my sponsor, because she helped me so much. She helped me to get a bank account, you guys. I didn't know how to do this stuff. I didn't even know how to write a check. I had learned how to write a check when I was younger, but I had never wrote any ever since, because basically what had happened was, I used to have a checking account. Oh God, Danielle. Girl, I know how you feel. I've been there. I've totally been there with my husband. I was just talking about that the other night. About him relapsing. It was over a year and a half ago. He's been sober for over a year now. But back when he relapsed, it was so scary because Well, he was coming home and he was late. And you know that feeling whenever you know that your husband or your girlfriend or whatever is not coming, they're running late and you're calling their phone and they're not answering. So you know something's going on. Or they're sending you straight to voicemail, or they're texting you and saying, "Oh, I'm so busy right now, I can't talk." And any other day, they would be calling you all day long. The only thing I can tell you, Danielle, is to just pray, girl. Just pray, you know, try not to obsess over what's going on. Try not to think about what he's doing. Just try to hope that he's doing the right thing. Um, one of the things that I struggled with was my anxiety went through the roof because of it. I told you guys all about it. I was throwing up. That's how sick I was because I was worried. Hey, Bella. I was worried, and my worry was justified because he had relapsed. I knew he had relapsed. I could feel it in my gut, you guys. Like, I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. You girls might. I don't know how you guys are because I'm not a guy. But do you guys know when your significant other is fucking up? Like, you just know it. You're like, they're fucking up. I just know it. It's like, and I'm not even trying to be like, um, not giving him the credit, not giving him the time, the benefit of the doubt, but it's like I just knew it and I was right. It's because I've just been with him for so long. I know. Um, and he used to know with me. So let me give you guys a story about the way I used to do my husband, because I tell you guys so much about how he used to do me. Let me tell y'all how I used to do him, and then y'all will know why he fucking probably did the things he did to me. But now, just let me tell you guys this. My husband is the most amazing man. He works all day, every day. He comes home, he lays around with me and my son. We go out to eat. We do things together. Like, we spend time together. He's an awesome man. Like, he has really stepped up to the plate since we've gotten sober. But before we got sober, we were just a hot mess. Hey, Kim. So what happened? Well, the way I used to treat my husband when we first got together, we've been together for 8 years and we've been married for 9 or 10 months. So not even a year. It'll be a year in February that we've been married, but we've been together for 8 years. I was the kind of girl, thanks, girl. I was the kind of girl who drugs, I am very lucky and I realize that. Drugs were more important to me than anything. And I loved my husband with all my heart, you guys, but when it came to getting high, honey, I was getting, you better get the fuck out of the way because I'm going to beat you to it. We would fight and argue over who was going to go first because a lot of the times we would just have one rig. And so I would be like, I would usually get the dope because the thing about it with me and Neil was Neil had the money and I had the connections. And so we were the perfect match. So when we met, he was like, he paid for everything, you know what I mean? And I made sure that I always got it because I had people, I was a street person, I was on the streets a lot. I was with all the people that sold, and my husband wasn't like that, but he had an addiction, but he had a legal prescription. Hey, Eastside Troy, he had a legal prescription, so he would get high on his own prescription, and we would fight, you guys, because by the time he on that prescription, and this is why I don't say anything about methadone, you guys, because me and my husband were abusing the fuck out of it. My husband was getting 365 methadone 10 tablets a month. 365. Okay, it came in one of them big old giant bottles. That's 10 pills a day for 30 days. Is it 50? It's 12 pills, something like that. It's a lot. 365 pills a month. Okay, a month. And so we would take those and we would be out of them in the first 2 weeks of the month. We would eat them all. And so after those would run out, we would fight with each other because we would fight over dope, basically. Sometimes what I would do was I would go cop dope and I would keep the bigger part for me. well, all the time, or I would go get pills and I would get 3 and only give him 1.5, or um, just shit like that. You know, there was times where when I was really bad on methamphetamine, there I would leave and I wouldn't come back home. I'd stay gone for days, 3 days, 4 days, getting high. You know, staying up all night long. A lot of the times I was just over at my girlfriend Tara's house. You know, hey, me to you. I was on 30 milligram Roxy's, okay, and shooting them up. And then I was shooting up, hey, what's up? I was shooting up Dilaudids, and I was shooting up methamphetamine, but the pills were Roxy 30s and Dilaudids. And so, and then, you know, I've had heroin probably 12 or 13 times, um, but it was all, I always went for the Roxy's. Oh, you mean the methadone pills? Oh, they were 10 milligram, 365 methadone 10 milligram pills a month. 365 from a doctor. Like the doctor is still in business today. I'm not going to say her name, but she, and when we, listen to me, you guys, when we got kicked off that, when he got kicked off that prescription, what happened, he went in, he failed a drug test for cocaine because we had been out shooting cocaine all night one night. And she was like, listen, I cannot keep prescribing you these. I'm going to taper you down. And so the way she tapered him down was for the next 6 months, she sent him and was like, yeah, I don't think you can shoot up methadone pills. They're not water soluble, I don't think. It's the truth. It's the truth. And so I'm telling you guys, like, I'm not ever trying to like glorify my drug addiction or anything like that, but I just want you guys to understand, like, me and my husband, we were in the throes of addiction. We was sick as hell, y'all. We were on heavy fucking drugs. And like I said, we would fight over rigs because I would only have one, or I would be in there and I didn't want him to go first because my husband had really bad veins. And what would end up happening is he would try to do himself and then it would get jammed up with blood and I'd be pissed because that fucking rig would be, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit, because I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. You could throw a fucking dart at my veins. I mean, I never had a problem. You know, it wasn't until like the last year or so of my addiction where I was like real skeezed out that I started to have problems with shooting. And what I did was I just stopped shooting in my arms and started shooting other places that had bigger veins. But it's not anything I'm proud of. Like, I'm not proud of this shit, right? It was really, 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 it was really sick and twisted, and just the way our relationship was intertwined into our addiction, and how, you know, we could be fighting 1 second over shooting, right? And then the next second we'll be high and we're like fucking doing crazy sex, you know what I'm saying? And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. That's the only reason why I'm telling y'all about it. Not trying to get anybody, you know, excited or anything, but y'all know what I mean. When you're like arguing with your significant other, you could literally beat their ass and then y'all get high and you're like, hey, you know? When I was high, I was a mess. I was a mess. And I was very like scandalous, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was always thinking of like, how was I going to get more, or where was it at so I could hide it from everybody else? And, you know, like, and my husband had to see the worst parts of me because he was with me all day and he still stayed with me, you know, that, because I was nobody, like I wasn't a good person when I was in my addiction, you guys. Like I'm a good person, but I wasn't being a good person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I was just desperate. I was desperate. And once I got to shooting up Roxy's, and I got to that sickness point where I started to feel ill because I didn't have no pills, I would do anything to get those motherfuckers. Do y'all feel me? I mean, if you got in my car and I didn't like you, I would rob you. Like I would take your money out of your purse and dump your ass out on the interstate. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. And dare you to call somebody. Like, yes. That's exactly how it is, Mark. Hold on. Me and my husband were the same way. Okay, he shot me up when I was a teen. I know what you mean, girl. Yes, I was just ruthless. And what I mean, like, I was ruthless in the sense, like, I would take from you and then I would run. Do you guys, I was like a straight junkie. Okay. I'm not trying to act tough or hard or anything like that. I've only been in a couple of fights. And most of the time, whenever I got into fights, it was because I was running my damn mouth, right? That's why. I was just like always thinking one ahead of the next person, right? But the reason I did that is because I had gotten done dirty so many times in my active addiction from bitches just like that, from girls who were stealing from me when I would get out of my car and leave my purse in there. Like I used to always cop from these girls. We called them the Terry twins, right? Bella, we called them the Terry twins. These two girls were 4'11", both of them. Real tiny, missing teeth, short little pixie haircuts. They were like blonde headed, and these girls were CIs, okay, which is, you know, they were narcs. They were hired by the police to tell on folks, and they did it. That's how I caught my charges. They turned, the Terry twins. Yeah, we're talking about them damn Terry twins. One day they're gonna find my channel and they're gonna be like, "What's up?" Okay, love you. One day they're gonna find my channel and be like, "What's up?" But them Terry twins, you guys, they would get over on me all the fucking time, and I would what I would do, and this is when I was still green. You know what I mean? I was still green. I was just getting started in my addiction, and I would send them with money to go get me stuff, and then they'd never come back. One time I was sitting out in my car for 30 minutes driving around the blocks looking for these bitches. They done bolted out the back door. One time, did I ever tell you guys this story about the time I held their asses hostage and made them strip? I have a video on my channel about it, but I'm going to tell you guys the story anyway. Okay, so one time I was dating that guy who used to beat my ass all the time. I mean, the one who used to bounce my head off the concrete. And listen, I'm saying these things kind of like, but it's not funny. That shit hurt. Like getting your ass beat by a dude every day, it makes you not love yourself. It makes you think you're worthless. It makes you not care. It makes you, do not cry. I kept going back. And he would beat me and beat me and beat me. And I kept going back. So we were living in this little trailer. My mom and dad had helped us find this like really nice little trailer, you guys. It came like it had fully furnished. I mean, it was nice. It was like a really, really old couple had lived there, and it was super clean, nice furniture, nice bed, and we started renting it. The rent was $350 a month plus utilities. It was in a nice trailer park, like a nice one. Not the ones like I used to live in after that. Like some straight, this was a nice one. And so we moved in there, and automatically I was tweaking all the time. Like the boyfriend, the guy I was with at that time, he had a bunch of friends who cooked dope. And so basically what they would do is they would come over to our house and they would get ready and get everything ready to cook. And then they would take the cook and go somewhere else and cook it, do it, gas it off. And then they would come back with the finished product. A lot of the time, you guys, they would take it out to the middle of the woods and cook it and then come back to the house, and then they would be done. And so we would get high. Well, we had all been getting high all night long, and at this time I wasn't even shooting yet. I was still smoking it out of pipes. And one thing I love to do was smoke fucking meth out of a pipe. And I was like the queen of blowing mushroom clouds. Like I was just like it's crazy looking back on it now. Like I realized how fucking like that's not a good thing to be the queen of. But back then, when I was in my active addiction, like I could feel the hair on my head growing because I would smoke so much methamphetamine. So I had just gotten paid, and so I had cash, a lot of cash, and I had $350 of our rent put up in this little brown box, little wooden brown box on the very top of the cabinets, like above the cabinets where you can't see. You know how trailers have the cabinets coming out the side? Up there. And so I had them up there. Well, I didn't know anybody would even think to look up there. Who the fuck's pilfering my house like that? You know what I'm saying? Then the Terry twins came over and they fucking pilfer the house like that. When you're not looking, these bitches will be under your bed, in between the damn mattress. They'll be in your purse. You won't even know what's going on. These girls they can steal from a police officer's back pocket. They could steal your damn necklace off your neck while you're a fucking awake. These bitches are the damn masters of fucking pickpocketing and stealing and fucking craziness, right? Girl, Danielle, I didn't want anybody to come over, but the guy I was with, these were all his friends. This is how I met all these fucking people. All these scandalous motherfucking tweakers was through my man. And we had only been together at this time for about a year. And so I was just getting acquainted with all these fucking tweaker pals that he had. They would come to my house while I was at work and break in and sit in my living room until I got home. That's how these fuckers were. I'm just going to keep it real. These people were AB and Peckerwoods, and they would do what they wanted to do. And then when they got high, they really did whatever they wanted to do. So I wasn't going to do anything to stop them. Do you feel what I'm saying? Okay. So that box was up there in the top of the cabinet, and I was like, oh man, everything will be fine. It's up there, right? And I didn't even realize that these girls, dude, had gotten up there and got it. So the next day, after we had been up all night long, I go up there and to get the rent out, and it's gone. It's gone. And I fucking flipped out. I was like, what the fuck? LD. That was my man's name, LD. He's passed away now. Our rent's gone. Our rent is gone. And he was like, what do you mean the rent's gone? What's up, Big Sid? Big Sid's in the house, y'all. Y'all have got to go watch this motherfucker's channel. He makes me laugh so damn hard. Talking about fucking Chick-fil-A. Talking about them women at Chick-fil-A kept on saying, my pleasure, my pleasure. And he's like, no, I don't want you to pleasure me. I died. Anyway, so I noticed it was gone, and I was like, man, the money is gone. Our rent is gone. Okay, so it was those two Terry twins, his friend Dennis, and then this other guy named PK. Okay, PK was, like I said, you guys, Aryan Brotherhood, AB, and then a bunch of his friends were also, they had that, like, they were just those kind of guys, okay? I don't even know, Peckerwoods is what they call them where I'm from. And so that happened. All right. So I was like, stop, wait a second. Nobody can leave until we find this money. All right. And at that time, LD had a gun and it was stolen, you guys. He didn't have a handgun license. He was a felon. And so he got that gun out and he locked the door and he wouldn't let anybody leave, right? PK, Dennis, and those two girls. Well, at that time, one of the twins had a full cast all the way up to her thigh. Do y'all hear me? A full cast. Her whole leg was in a cast. All right. And so I was like, who has the money? Somebody has that $350 and you're going to fucking give it over right now. Nobody was giving it over. And so I patted down PK. I patted down Dennis. They didn't have it. I knew those guys didn't have it. I just had that feeling. And these girls were not giving it up, right? So they finally sat there for so long. I was like, fuck it. Get fucking naked, bitches. Strip. All right? They were like, what do you mean, strip? What do you mean? Exactly what I said. Fucking get naked, lay on the ground, and spread your legs. I want to see if you got my money in your coochie. And I want to see if you got my money in your butthole. And I want to see where my fucking money is at. Is it underneath your tongue? Is it behind your ear? I mean, I was just fucking pissed. So they got naked. They got naked. And listen to me, you guys. When I get mad and I'm on methamphetamine, like, I get fucking pissed and I'm yelling, you know? And then I had my man right there to back me up with that gun. So I was really fucking pissed, you know? Well, he ended up, these girls took all their clothes off. They laid on the ground. They spread themselves open. I'm not finding the money, you guys. I mean, I was about to get a latex glove on or a dish, one of those yellow gloves that you wash the dishes with, and go in. You know what I mean? That bitch had that fucking money down her cast. $350 all the way down at the end of that cast. I'm telling you guys, it was fucking at the end of her cast. Finally. So I was like, we had to get a hanger to pull it out and scrape that money out. I'm so sorry, Nicole. My sister made me do it. This is how these girls were. The minute you fucking caught them in anything, they would blame it on the other one. And then they would be fighting back and forth. And then you would have these two girls. So you would almost be like, take it, just leave, take it. I don't want y'all in here, because they were so damn crazy. They would call the police on themselves. They would beat each other's asses, all this kind of stuff. And the cops would end up coming anyway. So we got the money out by pulling it up with a damn hanger, right? And they left. I kicked them out and they left. But guess what? We were getting high together the next night. That's the way it was in my addiction. I was a glutton for punishment. These bitches just tried to steal money from me and leave. Right? Listen, that's true, Ian. I'm so honest about shit that happened to me in my addiction, you guys. Like, I'm an open book. I'm almost too open about a lot of the stuff that I did. And so people try to get, how that. But yeah, that's what happened. Those girls try to get over. They really tried to get me. That PK guy was pissed too. I was going, look at me. If I had to go in, I was going in, y'all. Because that was my rent. I worked hard. Let me explain something to you guys. I worked 2 jobs. Okay, 2 jobs. Well, that fool of a man that beat my ass all the time worked like 12 hours a week. Okay, I bought that fool a car. I paid for our rent. I bought TVs. I did everything. I really, yeah, don't make me go up in there. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it was. And that shit happened. I'll never forget it either, you guys, because they really tried to get out of there. Who's here now? Oh, Danielle, good. I thought you were saying somebody was in here. Tell them we all said what's up. What's up, Danielle? Oh, man. Well, girl, you got all of us. We're supporting you here if he is. You can come back here and cry with us, okay? It's not pretty, and that's the thing, you guys. It's like a lot of people, what I'm finding is like, you can come to my channel and you can come to a live stream for an hour long and you can get 16 stories in 1 hour, okay? You can come over here, you can see me cry, laugh, and get pissed off in 1 hour, all right? This is me, all right? This is how I am. This is my life. I am me, and this is how I am. And my channel, I used to worry about so much. I used to worry about how I talked, what I said, what people like me. And you know what I'm learning? Hey, Shannon, I'm learning that you guys like me because I'm me. And y'all want to come here and hear my stories and learn about recovery, I'm not a recovery guru. Let's just get that straight while I have a lot of you guys over here. I don't know everything, right? But I'll tell you this. I've worked really hard to change the way I think. And that was probably the biggest obstacle that I had in getting sober, was changing up here. I love you for you, Missa. And you guys, listen, Missa, I have an idea. So Missa lives in Hot Springs. We are from the same town. Me and her were in treatment together. All right, together. Yes, that's right. Me and her were in the old rehab together. So she's heard a lot of the stories that I tell. She's heard these stories way back, like when they first happened, and so she knows me like the real me. You know what I mean? I love you, Great Dane. I'm not flirting. I'm just appreciating you too. And I was shouting out a bunch of you guys last night, and I'll say it again. Like, anybody who moderates for me, you guys have no idea how much I appreciate you guys. Loyalty and respect is so important to me, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Um, but God, what was I saying? See what I'm saying, you guys? I get off topic and then I can't get myself back on. Hey Nick, what's up? You guys, Hopeless to Hopeful, he has a channel too. His name is Nick. Y'all should go check his channel out too. He has a channel all about heroin recovery, all about recovery from heroin addiction. I've had him on my channel twice. So if you guys didn't know that, if y'all are wondering like, hey, Nicole does interviews, where are all these interviews at? I made a playlist and I'm putting all the videos in this playlist labeled interviews of all the people that I have on my channel. If you guys ever want to go over there and watch those videos, you can see them. Just so you know, this Saturday. Thank you, Leroy. I'm still learning with you guys. And I want to show you guys something I found. Y'all are going to die. I died when I found it. I always write out of this notebook, right? This is the notebook, you guys. You do, Eastside Troy? What's up? Good, Woke. Good. You'll love him. Okay, so you remember the last time I went into treatment, y'all, back in 2015? Well, I was taking notes like a motherfucker because I was serious about getting sober that second. Remember, the first 2 weeks I was in treatment, I had Neil sneaking in Xanaxes to me. If you guys don't know my story, I love you too, Bella. If y'all don't know my story, I have a literal 4-hour, 4-part series on my channel, part 1 through 4, of my whole story of how I got into my addiction, how I got through my addiction, and how I got sober and to where I am today. If you guys want to go watch that, it's in a playlist, my addiction story time or something like that. It's 4 parts, so it's an hour long each part, but it's worth it because you get to hear all the stuff. It's like my whole story, you know, because I tell a lot of my story in my channel during my videos, like live streams and stuff, but this is like in order, okay? Okay, so I found this. This was my notes, you guys, from treatment. So I wanted to do a video about this, and I want to know if you guys would like it. So did you know that there's different roles in the family? Like each person in the family plays a different role, okay? Especially in families that have addiction, okay? So like this is what I mean. Like one of the roles is the scapegoat, and the scapegoat is a troublesome child that brings family together in a perverse way. Scapegoat becomes means of family releasing frustration, and they feel good about themselves by comparison. So the scapegoat is a lot of the time is the one that, you know, if there's drama going down in your family, oh, well, it was Michelle's fault. Or it's always when Nicole comes around, she just can't get her shit together. That's why our family is like this. Okay? So these are the different family roles. Then there's the lost child. Keeps low profile, has not received as much love and care. So that's how my sister was. My baby sister, Christine, was the lost child. Okay? My mom and dad were so preoccupied and focused on me and my sister Michelle. I'm the oldest, then I have my sister Michelle, then my baby sister Christine. And while we were growing up, we were all like 18 months apart, really close together, okay? Very close together. Me and my sister Michelle, we were in active addiction together. And so my parents were really, really trying to rein us in at that 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, okay? And so during that time, my baby sister, Christine, kind of got forgotten about. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, and my mom and dad tried to do their best. It's not their fault. Please, like, if my mom watches this video, Mom, I love you so much. You know what I mean. But my mom and dad were trying so hard to get me and my sister back. You know, my sister Michelle is bipolar. at the time my parents didn't know, and she was like really, really acting out. She was on these like really, really manic highs, and she would sneak out and not come home, and then she would miss school. And at her school, my parents were going to go to jail because she was missing so much school. And my mom and dad, they're straight laced, y'all. They don't smoke, they don't get drunk, they don't do any of that. They're straight up. Okay, which is the right way to be, okay? So going to jail, hell no. My mom and dad were like, we're not going to do that. So my parents had to FINS petition my sister, which is when they give up responsibility of her, and they give up that responsibility to the state of Arkansas. So my sister had to start going into children's homes, juvenile jail. You know how you hear like Jake from 1090 Jake and TK, all those guys talk about going into juvenile jail, and the younger, that was my sister when she was growing up. She was a very, very troubled little girl. She struggled so much. My family tried so hard to help her. Finally, my mom and dad realized that it was a mental illness that was going on. And my mom and dad had her evaluated and had her admitted into a psych ward, okay, where she stayed there in this mental home facility for about 3 months, okay? She stayed there and she had intensive counseling. She got on medication, and it was a hard, hard time for our family, because while my sister was in treatment for her mental illness, I was running the streets getting high, driving my parents insane. And so these are the different family roles that take place in the family, right? And so then they have the mascot, which is the class clown, usually the youngest child, a child who is coddled and kidded. Try to protect this child, source of amusement for other family members. So you can kind of probably think about which role did you play in your family. Then you have the hero child, which is an overachiever, over-responsible, takes over role as father or spouse. Hero rarely feels good inside and tries to preserve the family unit. And then you have the enabler. Means well, but actions are counterproductive. Enabler wants to help, takes on tasks that addict should take care of. Enabler gives addict a message that he or she does not need to face drug problem because he or she is always saved. Okay? So those are the different roles that each person can play. You know, I was a hero child. I was an overachiever. I always tried to bring my sisters, my mom, and my dad, all of us together. But then at the same time, I was also, you know, no, I was always trying to bring us all together, you know. What did you do, girl? And a family has their own personality. Yes, woke, yes. Oh, you're deleting messages over here, girl. Sorry. Oh, it's okay. Hey, Eastside Troy, she didn't mean to delete your message. Don't leave. So anyway, I took all these notes while I was in treatment, you guys. So this one is from August 3rd of 2015. It says communication. Only 35% of communication is actually the words that are spoken. Body language, tone, inflection, and expression. So just 35% is the words that we say. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. So maybe one time, and then this is what I'm saving for a video. This is the therapeutic values behind the steps. So this is going to share with you guys each value that's behind each step. So as we go through the steps, I'm going to do this with you guys, and we're going to learn what therapeutic value each step has. So I'll give you an example, okay? The 12 steps are designed to connect us with a power greater than ourselves, okay? Our best bet for complete recovery is to have a two-pronged attack to our problem. We need to deal with both our addiction and our underlying problems. So, a fit spiritual condition. A fit spiritual condition is discovered by connecting to a spiritual force that provides us with strength and the ability to remain clean and sober. She didn't mean to. She had it on her boob. She didn't mean to. She didn't mean to. He'll come back. Don't worry. It probably just, I think it just deleted the message. Okay, so here's the value. Okay, this is what I want to show y'all. Step 1, we admitted we were powerless over drugs or alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Okay, the value between the value behind step 1 is this step helps us shatter our reliance on a false self. Okay, so you know how we talk about that false sense of confidence that a lot of us had because of drugs and alcohol, right? Drugs and alcohol would get us high, then we would feel like we could do everything. I'm Superwoman now. I can go clean the house. I'm Superwoman now. I can work my job, right? Or I'm going on a date. I'm really nervous, so I'm going to get fucked up and get drunk so that way I can loosen up a little bit. These are the things that we did. This is that fake confidence, that fake reliance that we had. And so the value behind, the value behind step 1 is shattering the reliance on that false self. Okay. Step 2 is we came to believe in a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Okay, I need to listen to this without him trying to throw pizza and dirty money at me. Danielle. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to make a separate video and I'm not going to live stream. So that way it will be, we won't. That's right, green eye cat. Listen, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do this right now because we're live streaming and I get distracted and then I start, you know how I am, guys. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in a pre-recorded video and I'm going to be able to do it with you guys. Now, let me tell you where I learned all this stuff from. I went to one of the best treatment centers in Arkansas. Okay, it was called Oasis. And the man that taught the class, his name was not Rocky. God, what was his name? God, come on, Nicole. Why is it? It's just why can't I remember his name? Anyways, he's an older gentleman. Please keep going. Okay. But I'm gonna make a separate video, so if you guys want to refer back to it, you can. So I'll make a separate video. It'll be just titled "The Values Behind the Steps." Okay. Okay. Step 2, came to believe in that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Okay. The value behind step 2 is hope is an important ingredient of all healing. You cannot solve this problem alone. So the value behind step 2 is the hope. Hope. Step 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Now, for those of you that just said, I'm out of here, she just said God. Did you listen to what I said after that? I said, God as you understand Him. So that means a God of your own understanding. It does not mean Jesus Christ. It doesn't mean Buddha. It doesn't mean whatever your God is, right? Hey, Eastside Troy, you're safe, man. We didn't mean to delete your comments, okay? That was an accident. One of my girls had the phone on her tit and she accidentally deleted it. That happens sometimes around here. So, hope is in words. Okay, step 3. I just totally made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Okay, so yes, a higher power, whichever you choose. It could be whatever your higher power is, that's specific to you and what you believe. All right, so don't ever please don't leave if you hear me say God, because that's just my belief. And here on my channel, we accept all different pathways. We accept whatever your belief is. And if you have a different belief than me and you want to share with us about that belief, I would love to have you on the channel so you can share. Because I know there are a lot of other people that have different beliefs than mine. And I want to give those people a chance to have someone they can relate to. So if you have a different belief than me and you want to share that and come on the channel, just hit me up and you can come on and you can share with us how you're staying sober and what your higher power is and how that works for you. Okay. All right. So step 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Okay. The value behind step 3 is this step is about commitment. So, commitment. Find a new effective way of living. So, we have shatter, helps us shatter our reliance on our false self. Okay. We have hope, and then we have commitment. All right. Step 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Okay, so you guys know what a moral inventory is. When you are working a 12-step program, you'll hear about people talk about it all the time. Step 4, step 4. Oh my gosh, step 4. All you're doing is taking inventory of your actions. All right. It could be good, bad, indifferent, whatever. You just write down everything that, you know what, the way my sponsor helped me out with it, she gave me this worksheet. Maybe I have it in here. She gave me these worksheets, right? And the worksheets had columns just like they do in the big book. And at first it started out with the person who I had a resentment towards, what that person did, how that affected my life, and what areas it affected my life, and what my part was in it. And I just filled out the columns, and that's how we went through it. The first 4th step I ever worked was with a girl. She was Cocaine Anonymous, and she was probably one that, let me tell you all a quick little story about this sponsor. Her name was Robin, and she's still with us. She's probably still sober to this day. She was amazing. She's a Black lady, and me and her became so close. But when we did our 4 steps, she had me write a case history, which is basically like your whole life story, right? So I had those long yellow notebooks full of my whole life story. And then what we did was we went through it and we circled my resentments and where my part was in it throughout the story. And that's how we did my 4th step with her. But Robin and I relapsed. Okay. So I got out of treatment when I got out of prison, I paroled out to a halfway house here in Little Rock. Okay. I was in prison for a year. I was in prison for probation revocation. And I went to a boot camp style prison here in in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And when I got out of prison, I paroled out to a halfway house here in Little Rock, and I stayed sober for a couple months, and I relapsed right away. And then they let me go to treatment. That's where I met Robin, and I asked Robin to be my sponsor. She started working me through the steps, and then I stayed sober for 9 months working the steps with her, which, you guys, I was doing so good. I got a job. I was making money. I was working hella hours. I was getting promoted. I talked about this on Josh's channel. I was getting promoted at my jobs. I mean, I was doing really good. But what happened was I let my job take priority over everything. And I stopped working my steps. I stopped calling my sponsor. I stopped going to meetings, and I started hanging back out with people who were getting high. And I relapsed and I got high. Well, I went out and I didn't come back. Okay. I went out and stayed out for years. Okay. I stayed out and I ended up really being bad off on cocaine and crack and Roxy's at this time. One night, I had been up for days, and I was walking because I had just left St. Vincent's, and I was walking down the street on Markham Avenue, and I had no shoes on, boxers and a t-shirt, and I had nowhere to go. All I had was my cell phone, and I kept thinking that people were driving by and trying to proposition me, ask me if I wanted to fuck. You know, I thought that they thought I was a prostitute. And so I was screaming. I had the stick and I was screaming at folks as they were driving by. I've been watching Banging in Little Rock again. They sure like NWA. Yeah, that's from a long time ago, that movie too. It was a good documentary though. But I was waving the stick at people, just crazy. And so what did I do, you guys? I walked down to Kroger because that's where I had been working. All right, it does. Girl, it made me so crazy. At the time, I'd never smoked crack like this before in my life, you guys, until I came here to Little Rock. And this crack was so fucking strong. The minute I hit it, my ears started going wah, 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 wah. It was trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. If you're in here right now, I don't want to get anybody triggered. But it was like, and so I was off my rocker, you know, and I had called the police on myself. That's what I always do, call the police on myself, because I would get so damn high that I would think something was happening. Police came, ambulance came, took me to St. Vincent's, then I left. Same situation. I'm telling you guys, that's happened probably 4 or 5 times to me. Only this time I went walking down the street to Kroger. Well, when I got to Kroger, I called Robin. And I was like, man, Robin, please come pick me up. I ain't got nowhere to go. And so her and her boyfriend came and picked me up. This woman was so good, y'all. She ended up letting me move into her house with her. And I was the kind of drug addict that, like, I had a job. I was paying her rent. I never missed a payment because I knew I needed a place to stay. But I was in and out at all times of the night. I was getting high. I was bringing dope into her house, and she was in recovery. Well, hey, Faith. Hey, you guys. Faith has a channel, too. If you guys don't know that, she talks about all things beauty, beauty guru drama, all kinds of stuff, and she's real cool, too. If you have a channel and you come in here, I will shout your channel out, just so y'all know. So I had got, okay. Oh, so I was getting high in her house, and she had told me, like, you can live here as long as you're not using, you know. Well, that fucked up. But it was Christmas time. I was paying her $300 a month to stay there, so she wasn't going to kick me out because I was actually helping her. She was making money off me. But that's when I went to treatment. I went back to treatment at RCA. I actually left her house this night. When I left her house, I was living with Robin. I left her house and I went to the trailer that I told the story about at John Josh's channel, where I hallucinated and seen Cy from Duck Dynasty. Like, that shit, y'all, literally happened right after I left Robin's house, because I had been relapsing. I'd been smoking and fucking shooting up. And I went down to Gerald's house, which was this guy that I met here in Little Rock in my active addiction. And Gerald, he was a disabled Army veteran. So he would always get money and he would always get pills, and we would go buy pills together. And so I would just go to his house and hang out with him. And he lived with these 2 white gay guys. And so we were sitting there getting high, and that was the night that I had been up for like a week, and I was like, man, I got to go to sleep. And they were like, here, take this. And they gave me that Seroquel. And then the next thing you know, I was off to the races, y'all. It did not knock me out. It just made me hallucinate even more. It was horrible. I thought I was going to die. That was scary. It was scary. That time, it was so bad because I was seeing things. The hallucinations for me were so vivid that I still remember them to this day. Like, I remember what they looked like. I remember what was going on, because it was so real to me. But anyway, I could sit here and talk with you guys all day long. Let me read one more value for you, and then I'm going to get off here, okay? Step 4. Okay, we did that one. Step 4 was increasing self-awareness, self-honesty, and insight into our behavior. Oh, girl. Well, Seroquel did that because I had been up for like a week, and then they gave me a Seroquel trying to knock me out. Well, guess what happened? It just made me hallucinate even more. It was 100 milligram Seroquel, girl, and I had been up for over a week, and I was already hallucinating. What's meth like compared to crack? That's a good video idea. But I'll tell you guys right here. Compared to crack, methamphetamine is so much longer. The high is so much longer. But the high from crack is so intense at first, but then it goes away right away. With methamphetamine, if you're injecting methamphetamine, then the high is very intense, and then you stay high for days. When I'm telling you this right now, when I would shoot up methamphetamine, the first time I ever did it, my pupils went and they covered my whole eyelid. And then you know what else happened? I had orgasm from shooting methamphetamine for the first time. I'm not even lying to y'all. True story. But it's not worth it. You don't want to do that to get an orgasm. You can get it for free just having sex. But that's how strong it was. It literally made my hair grow off my head. It was hardcore, but it's very methamphetamine so much longer. Okay, it's so long. I'm serious, you guys. And for those of you that have done methamphetamine IV, you know what I'm talking about because so many other people will tell you this. You know, yeah, it's more, yeah, I think it, I don't know if you would say it was stronger because there's some cocaine, some crack I've smoked that is strong, but it doesn't last. Do you know what I'm saying? Like methamphetamine is strong and it lasts, okay? Crack is just like strong and then it goes away. Oh, green eyed cat. When I would come down from methamphetamine, I was miserable. For every 3 days I stayed up, it would take me 3 more days to get better. So if I stayed up for 3 days, it would take me 6 days to get myself back to normal because it was just so hard on my body. So I know you guys all want to know these things, and I don't ever want you guys to think that like it's getting high is horrible, okay? It's horrible in the sense that it's going to take your life. It's going to ruin anything good that you've ever had. All right? That's why I kind of shy away from what's the difference from meth and an opioid high? Totally different. Totally different highs, okay? Opiates are like, for some people, they give some people energy, but for me, I was just laid back, nodding out on opiates. Methamphetamine is it's an amphetamine. It's a stimulant. So totally two different ends of the spectrum. But that's the kind of person I was. Like, I liked to feel different any way I could. It doesn't matter if it was a stimulant or an opiate or weed or Xanax. Like, I just wanted to take anything that would take away how I felt on the inside, right? That's a lot of the reasons why a lot of us use, because we're just hurting on the inside, or we're lost in the inside. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not making excuses. I take full responsibility for the shit I did in my active addiction. But I know now today that it was because I wasn't well. I needed help. I needed help. And I used so I didn't have to feel. And now I feel my feelings. And even if it's something that I don't want to feel, I'd rather feel it than to be back on drugs, because I lost everything because of my addiction, and I almost lost my son forever. So there's nothing to me that's worth going back to that life. I don't ever want to go back. I love my life today. I'm so happy to be alive and to be sober and to be able to talk to you guys about it for real. Like, for real. If you guys want me to, I'll make some videos that are like talking about, the differences and stuff. But I just don't want anyone to ever get the wrong idea and think that I am trying to glorify it, trying to trigger anybody. Like, I want you guys to understand where I stand. I don't never want to get high again. I fucking hate drugs. Okay, they ruined my life. All right, they almost took my life. I almost died because of getting high. Okay, and I don't want to lose my life today. Like, I value my life more. Nicole saying here, I lost 50 pounds in about 2 months a few years back from smoking meth. I was already skinny to start. Yeah, okay, then you know what I'm talking about, Eastside Troy. And on top of like the losing weight and everything like that, it makes you so skeezed out. Like, your mind, it gets so messed up. And that's what would happen to me, is that I would be okay for a little bit, and then I would start losing my mind. And that's when it just got too bad. I cannot handle it, They call it meth, they call it ice here, shards, tweak, go fast. Yeah. So anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for chatting with me. I hope y'all enjoyed just chopping it up with me tonight. I am going to do a dedicated video to the values behind each step, and I'll also do a dedicated video comparing, you know, drugs that I have been on and the addiction problems that I had from each one. Okay. Oh, that's because you stay up so long, Jax, without sleep. Bella, without sleep, you stay up so long on meth without sleep. And that's what happens. And you can't go to sleep. You know, when you come off of smoking crack, like eventually you come down, you might not feel like you can sleep, but you kind of can finally fall asleep. With methamphetamine, you're not falling asleep until your body physically passes out. That's how meth is. Till you physically pass out. It's crazy. It's crazy. Make me go crazy. That's why all the crazy shit I did happened, because I was up for so many days. Then I would shoot Roxy's behind it. Y'all, I was trying to die. That's the only thing I can say is that I was trying to die. You know? So please, you guys, Bella, I love you, girl. Don't be upset. Don't be sad. Don't go. Just stay here with us, girl. I know you've been struggling. And I know listen, for those of you that are struggling, right? I know that it seems like you're never going to get to the end of the tunnel, right? That there's no light. But I can reassure you, I can promise you that there is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm telling you, if I can get my life together and I can have happiness in my life, I'm telling you, and anybody can do it. I promise. I promise. You just got to find what works for you. Try different things. Try everything. That's what I did. I got into therapy. I got into the 12 steps. I got into maintenance. I tried everything I can. And I'm still doing different stuff. And so each thing I do, I try to, because I want to make sure I have everything. I want to try everything I can to better my life. And so that's what you have to do. You have to try these things. Give things a chance. Because if you don't, then you're never going to know if it'll work. You know, and if you're struggling with internal dialogue, negative self-talk, beating yourself down, practice loving yourself, practice affirming yourself with positive affirmations, practice speaking positively to others instead of saying, you know, I don't want to be here or my life. Say the opposite. Just say it. Just fake it if you have to. But practice saying that, because I'm telling you, it'll help change that dialogue inside of you, because you keep practicing that negativity. That's what your brain's going to go to automatically. Yeah. So I love you guys. I'll do some more videos and stuff. You know, I'm sure y'all know how I am with videos. I'll have some more videos out for y'all in a couple of days. But tomorrow night we'll be live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Saturday we're having Crystal on, and then Sunday, I think OG Badger's coming on. So hopefully, if he doesn't have anything else coming up, he'll be on the channel too Sunday. So I love you guys. I hope you have a great night, and I'll see you guys later. If you need to talk to me, just text me on the Real Talk Recovery phone line at 501-991-5149. If you need support, you can join our Discord. Merck has linked it in the chat. Or you can come over to the Facebook group, Real Talk Recovery, or you can join Patreon. So many options to be with us, okay? I love you guys, and I'll see y'all later.